Welcome, Hudson Valley, to this week's edition of In Touch, the public affairs and issues program that runs across Town Square Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. This week's guests are Mark Hurley and Terry Walsh from IAABO Board 114. Mark and Terry are here to talk about the upcoming Officials vs. Cancer basketball tournament happening Saturday, February 4th at Dutchess Community College. The Hudson Valley Officials vs. Cancer basketball tournament has become a major tradition to the basketball community in the last decade and raises money for the American Cancer Society. Mark and Terry also discussed the need for new basketball officials since the pandemic. Without officials, schools will have no other option than to cancel games. We invite you to join us and listen to a previously recorded conversation between Mark, Terry, and myself here on In Touch. Hello, Hudson Valley. You're listening to In Touch, Town Square Media, the Hudson Valley's public affairs and issues program. We got a great episode lined up for you today. Today's guests include Mark Hurley, president of Board 114 of IAABO and also chairman of Officials vs. Cancer. We also have Terry Walsh, interpreter for IAABO Board 114 and founding committee member of Officials vs. Cancer. Guys, how are you today?
Good, thank you.
We're doing great, Connor. Thanks for having us.
No, really happy to have you guys in here. Well, this is something that's very near and dear to my heart. I'm just going to say right off the bat, Terry's my dad, if you guys didn't get the whole Walsh thing connection. Hi, Dad.
Hi.
No, Officials vs. Cancer is an incredible event that brings athletics together with charity and community, and I'm really excited to get to talk about it today. But before we really get into the event, there's probably a lot of people who are like, what the heck is IAABO? What is all this? So could somebody just tell everybody who's listening, what is IAABO?
Well, we're the boys basketball officials for high schools here in the Hudson Valley. IAABO was started just over 100 years ago in Pennsylvania and has grown to states from Maine to Northern Virginia, out to Colorado. We have boards in Arizona, South Carolina, all around the world in military bases, and also Ontario, Canada.
When it comes to the area that you guys cover with basketball, what would be the counties that you guys cover?
We cover Dutchess, Ulster, Columbia, and Greene counties here in the Hudson Valley.
Very good range that you guys have there. This is an event that you guys have annually, or at least you try to, Officials vs. Cancer. The pandemic kind of threw things off a little bit. This is the first time that this event is back in 2 years now because of the pandemic, correct?
That is correct. We had 2021, we had a cancellation at the last minute, unfortunately. And then last year, we were hoping to get things back on track. And unfortunately, the venue wasn't allowing fans, so we kind of had to pull the plug on that one. So it's great to be back and reinvigorate the desire and the push to have this event back in place, and we're excited for it. And I did want to throw out for the acronym buffs that IAABO stands for International Association of Approved Basketball Officials.
Yes.
I'm very impressed.
Yeah, now we know why you call it IAABO and not.
Oh, yeah, no, I didn't.
Not trying to throw that whole plate of spaghetti out.
Oh, no. It's good to have it out there. I wasn't even going to ask you guys that just in case, but very good that you remember.
And the funny thing is, growing up with a father who was an IAABO member, he was always IAABO. The newer generation are calling it IAABO. So,
that's interesting.
Pick whatever acronym
Where's your
like.
accent on the,
yeah.
on the syllable there?
Yeah, but we answered either one.
Very, very good. I love that. So Officials vs. the Cancer is an incredible event, and it really brings in a lot of the community, especially all the sports teams. It hasn't been around the last 2 years because of COVID, but before that, it had a really great, strong tradition in the Hudson Valley. So could one of you guys tell us, how did Officials vs. Cancer start here in the Hudson Valley?
Originally, it was the brainchild of Kevin O'Connor, who was president at the time. We had the Red Fox shootout at Marist College for many years, but the state came in and said they were concerned about how the money was distributed as part of that it was too specific to Marist College, and they wouldn't let that continue. So Kevin had just himself recovered from cancer and had approached New Paltz College at the time and got the gym there and started developing this plan. We came back with games at New Paltz, and then we branched out to Dutchess, and now we're exclusively at Dutchess. Yeah, it was Kevin O'Connor who brought it to fruition.
And Kevin did a great job. He was all in, full speed ahead on getting everybody involved, and he hyped it up, and he pretty much made it what it is today as far as the excitement for the schools, for the officials, for the fan base, for the colleges. Everybody involved is really excited about it. I could say from year one to where we are in, we'll call it year 9 of having the event, it's pretty much on cruise control now from the school standpoint, because they come out and they ask us. Before it was have to go out and solicit the schools. Do you want to be a part of this? Do you have games in your schedule? Now they pretty much come to us and say, hey, we're looking forward to the event. Can you get us in? The disappointing thing is when we went down from 2 venues or 2 weekends down to 1 just to consolidate things, we had to leave people out. So it's tough, because I still get those phone calls and texts from schools to say, hey, we really want to be a part of this. And it's tough to say no, but at the same time, it's nice that there's just so much awareness of this event and excitement from the schools. And from the community perspective, it's almost easy now to ask for help from some of the local businesses, because you say, hey, it's been great. Thanks for being a supporter this past, and we're back in action. And especially since they hear we're 2 years off, like, oh yeah, I'm all in. What can I do? What can I give? How can I help? And it's great for people that like myself who don't really like saying, hey, I need something from you. Mm-hmm. They're already there with kind of their hand out to us, offering assistance in any way. We have one of our officials who is actually trying to set up tables for some businesses that offer mental health or community service that want to show their support of us at the event, and at the same time make people aware of what they're doing. So it's kind of expanding into not just an event for the American Cancer Society, but just a broad local and just awareness of different things that people are looking for.
No, that's great that it's been able to build up so much in recent years, and kudos to Kevin O'Connor getting it all started, but kudos to everybody that's working on the board and bringing the tradition and continuing it moving forward, especially after 2 years. Now, one interesting thing about this is not just some regular everyday bake sale kind of fundraiser. This is one of the top 5 official versus cancer tournaments in the U.S. when it comes to raising money, typically, correct?
Yeah, we're very fortunate. Our board has raised over $80,000 over the 9 years for the Officials versus Cancer. Officials versus Cancer is like the charity that IAABO works with. As a board, we've really embraced this cause and gone all in trying to raise money, because we've had a number of our officials over the years who have passed from either cancer or tumors or whatever. We really wanted to give back to them in their memories, to who have made our board the way it is, as great as it is. So we've really embraced this and wanted to do all we can to contribute to this cause.
And anyone who attends a basketball game next week, wherever you are, if it's an IAABO official, that entire week we'll be wearing either pink or white whistles to kind of honor the Officials versus Cancer.
That's awesome. Movement.
So you'll see that. The $80,000 over the 8 events, when we had our hiatus in 22, we offered to the membership because our costs were down. There weren't as many meetings. Mm-hmm. We were everything was over remote. So our dues were less than normal, and we put out to the board, anybody who wishes to pay kind of in full their normal dues for that season, we're going to take the difference and make that a donation to the American Cancer Society, even though we're not having a tournament. And the response we got was great. We raised over $2,500 just from our organization alone without having a basketball game or games played on that day to push to the American Cancer Society. So it was a great response to something that we've kind of set in motion and is still going. So we were proud of our members, all 100 plus strong, give or take.
It's great that you guys were able to get something like that going even in a tough period like that. I think it just goes to show that people were hungry to help and to do something in a time where, there wasn't that sense of community because we were all locked up. We couldn't do that. And it's just great to see that kind of charity come forward. You're listening to In Touch, Town Square Media, the Hudson Valley's Public Affairs and Issues program. Right now, we are talking with Mark Hurley and Terry Walsh from IAABO, speaking about the Officials versus Cancer tournament that's going to be coming up Saturday, February 4th, correct?
Yes.
And that's going to be at Dutchess Community College. So we've been talking a lot about the history of this event and the wonderful things that it's done, the amount of money that it's raised. But let's talk about the day. Let's talk about the day of right now. We just said it's Saturday, February 4th. What time does things start? And could you guys give us like a loose schedule of what could be going on that day?
Okay, I've got the lineup here. We're going to start at 11 o'clock in the morning with Spack and Kill versus Marlboro. Then at 12:45, FDR, or Roosevelt, versus Cornwall, which is a game of, I'm an alumni of Cornwall. My son's an alumni here of FDR, so we'll battle it out.
I see the tension in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. And then at 2:30, we have Beacon versus Red Hook. At 4:15, we have Our Lady of Lourdes versus O'Neill of Highland Falls. And then the last game of the day is Poughkeepsie High School versus Tappan Zee from Rockland County.
Wow, these are some really great matchups.
The last game of the day is a really exciting one. So you have Poughkeepsie, which is Section 1 Class A champion of last year, versus Tappan Zee, which was a semifinalist of Section 1 Class A. So that'll be a really fun game and kind of why we slated it where it was at the end of the day to put the icing on the cake for that one.
End it with a bang, absolutely. Yeah. No, that'll be great. So the games will be going on all throughout the day. People can check that out. But there's much more than just simply the games. You guys offer a lot of different things. I heard there's going to be a food truck this year as one of the things. There's going to be vendors within the auditorium. Tell us about that, what other people can expect.
So this year we wanted to do something different, and we thought it would be great to bring in a food truck. So we poked around and made some phone calls. And this year we're going to have Flores Food Truck come in with a great array of items. And they have been absolutely wonderful working with us with the donation and when they're going to be there. And just it's going to be kind of a fun thing to witness and watch because we're excited about it. The committee's excited about it. So hopefully you come out and have a good meal on top of a good day of basketball. During the halftime of each game during the day, we're going to have come out and shoot a half-court shot. Give $1, shoot a shot, as many as you want, and we're going to have prizes to give away there. So that's great because once you get the first couple of usually the younger kids will start and the dominoes start to fall and you got a line of people just throwing half-court shots, which can be chaotic, but chaos is sometimes fun.
Yes. It's good chaos.
Yeah, it's great. And like we'd mentioned before, we're going to have some organizations set up tables to offer information to fans in and out. We do, given it's 5 games, you're looking at the 1,000 to 1,500 attendance throughout the day, which is great because it's a great exposure. I also want to give hats off to Matthew Paquette, the athletic director at Dutchess. He has been absolutely a great partner with this. He's actually pushing the tournament. He's helping us in any way we can with, getting set up and getting the food truck taken care of. And what do you need for the scoreboards and the locker rooms and the dressing and parking? He has just been a great partner in this, and that's why we've continued to keep it at Dutchess. It's just fun to work with him because I know when I pick up the phone or we have a conversation, it's an easy one. I've been there twice. We've gone through kind of the scenarios of things, and he said, Mark, you can come back the day before and go over any last-minute changes. So hats off to Dutchess to being a great partner in this. There's nothing to even complain about in the slightest.
That's great. It's terrific to be able to have that support and to be able to go full steam ahead with everything. So you talked about having a lot of great organizations come out and be like, hey, we want to help. You guys are back. Let's help out. And it's really cool to see how this is becoming a community-wide event. Can you tell us a few of the organizations that have been a great support in all this and people can expect to see at the event?
Sure, and this list is hopefully not complete. It's changing daily, but some of our upfront supporters are Baxter Corporation. We have Eastdale Bagels, New England Cleaners, Jason Patrick's on 44, Madison's Pizza, Pleasant Valley, Mental Health America of Dutchess County, Walsh Evaluation, Real Estate Appraisers, Rossi's, the Hudson Valley Renegades, just to name a few, and of course Dutchess. So it's pretty wide range. You've got industrial, builders, food, mental health. You could see the gambit that we capture with this event, and it's awesome. It's not just all food or all grocery stores. We've also had some donations from Adams, so that's been it's been very, very well received. So we're happy to have them, and we're happy to have anybody else who's willing to look into helping. We do have our information is on our Twitter account. It's at IAABO114. That's our Twitter handle. So you can go on there and follow us. And we also have a Facebook account, which is IAABO114, Mid-Hudson Valley Basketball Officials. So the information is there for anybody to look at. And if they want to donate, they can go there and get that information as well.
It just kind of goes to show you that basketball and cancer touch so many people's lives in different ways, and it brings everybody together for one common cause. You could be, as you said, mental health, could be industrial, could be just about anything, but they have something that all relates, that brings it all together full circle, which is an incredible thing to be able to find in the community. So, seriously, kudos, guys, with everything that's going on with Officials versus Cancer. I know I'm excited for the event.
I don't think there's anybody out there who doesn't know of someone who's been at least challenged with cancer in any way, whether it was possible diagnosis or treatment or friends. So I think this is just something that it's everywhere.
No, truly. No, and I appreciate all the effort that you guys are doing for all this. It's going to be a great event. One thing that I want to bring up about IAABO and give you guys a really good spotlight about is about referee recruitment. Well, first of all, everybody goes to the games, they see the referees there, but you really don't think much of it. Most of the people probably heckling you guys from the stands and all that. But don't think about how many of you guys are out there on a daily, weekly basis going about taking care of these games, making sure that all of these students are being taken care of when working on all this. Can you tell us, first of all, why is it important to have referees in our area and to have a good, strong community of referees so that these games can happen?
Well, we're finding that right now we've lost referees due to COVID, due to retirement. We're aging out. We're not getting as many new officials coming in. We've made a big push this year using IAABO University, and we've brought in a number of new officials, but now we have to train them and get them ready and put them out there on the floor. So right now we're short officials, and if we don't have enough officials to go around, there will be cancellations, and there have been cancellations. I think we have maybe about 80 guys working almost every night somewhere in the Hudson Valley trying to cover all the schools that we need to cover. Well, we've got 20 schools in Section 9, we have 5 in Section 1, and we have 12 up north. So we've got to cover all those schools. It's a tough task.
No, absolutely, because there's a lot of you guys that do multiple games a day at times, 2, 3 sometimes, and that's a lot on you guys. Spread everybody out, but then also, as you said, if you don't have the officials, then the games get canceled, and then all these student athletes don't get a chance to play and have their seasons, which is very difficult.
Hey, without officials, it's just a pickup game.
Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. When it comes to recruitment and bringing in new officials, how would one go about starting that process of becoming a basketball official?
Well, you can contact me. I'm kind of the focal point of, this is Terry, making sure. Contact me at walshvaluation@gmail.com. I can get you set up with the online class. and we can get you started on becoming an official. We've recruited a lot of people this way. Been a big push by IAABO to try to get new officials in because numbers have dropped. Worldwide, IAABO was over 12,000 members, and we've dropped down to around 8,000 across the world. So we need members, and we're as an organization, we're graying out, we're retiring, we need new faces coming in. So contact me. I can get you hooked up with the IAABO University class. You can take the class, you take the test, and then we can start training you to become an official.
Terrific. That's a great way to get into everything. And if you have a love for basketball, love for athletics, I think this is a great outlet for anybody who wants to get involved in the community in a way like that. Again, you're listening to In Touch, Town Square Media, the Hudson Valley's Public Affairs and Issues program. We've been talking with Mark Hurley and Terry Walsh about Officials versus Cancer and basketball refereeing as a whole here in the Hudson Valley. It's been terrific to talk to you guys. I really thank you for coming in. Officials versus Cancer is happening Saturday, February 4th, starting at 11. Go support your favorite local teams. There's going to be a lot of them, and there are going to be some really great matchups that day. There's going to be prizes. There's going to be raffles. There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be a lot of fun, and of course, it supports the American Cancer Society. Also, if you want to be a referee, we have all the information associated in the description of this episode on our website, or if you're listening on one of the podcast streaming services. Guys, is there any last second things that you guys want to say in regards to recruitment, in regards to games in general, in regards to Officials versus Cancer? Any last words?
Well, I wanted to thank you, Conor, for having us. The other thing I wanted to mention with our board is from recruitment or for becoming a member of IAABO is not only do you become a basketball official, you become a member of to sound corny, family or a group of 100 people, or depending on how big your board is, of all walks of life. So you get to meet a lot of different people, make a lot of new friends. Friday nights after games, we might send some communication out via text and say, hey, we're all meeting here, go out to dinner, and you kind of tell your war stories of the game of the day. So it's more than just driving to a school, refereeing a basketball game, and going home. You get to watch kids. I've seen so many cycles. I'm not going to date myself, hopefully, but you see them start in CYO in 5th grade, and now they're at senior night. And it's fun to watch those kids. And they remember you, believe me, the parents remember you, and they kind of, at the end, they may have said, I disagree, I didn't like this call, but at the end of the day, they're like, thanks for officiating. So there's an appreciation that comes back. And, for the officials that work, we do 3-man officiating for these games on the February 4th. And it's another one of those, the guys want to do the games. They give their feedback. It's donated. So they're doing the game for free. And we know once the ball goes up, we're probably still going to get yelled at, but they still love to do it. And they're like, hey, can we get a game? And they still want to be part of it. So it's a great organization, and it's a great feeling at the end of the day. Even you take some arrows, but you still, hopefully for most of us, when you hang up your whistle, you're like, I enjoyed doing it, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, and the donation to get into the games is just $5. And if you're under 13, we don't charge. $5 donation for all adults to get in. You can start at 11 o'clock and stay all day, or you can pick your favorite game and come in. We have raffles during each and every game, and you'll have a wonderful time.
And churros.
Yes.
And churros.
You can't say no to churros.
Absolutely not. No, sounds good. Again, if you're interested on any of that, the social media for IAABO, the email for refereeing, and ways to donate to Officials versus Cancer will all be in the description of this episode. Mark, Terry, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Conor.
This has been this week's edition of In Touch, the public affairs and issues program that runs across Town Square Media, the Hudson Valley radio stations. We want to give a big thank you to Mark and Terry. For more information on Officials versus Cancer or on how to become a referee, visit their Twitter page at IAABO, IAABO 114, or their Facebook page, Hudson Valley boys basketball referees. You can also email Terry directly at walshvaluation@gmail.com. Of course, all links and information can be found in the description of this episode. Thank you to everyone who's listened to In Touch in 2022 and now into 2023. Last year saw a lot of growth with this program, and we expect even more to come this year. You can find In Touch episodes new and old on your favorite streaming services like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and more. That and listen on demand with your Town Square radio station mobile app. Of course, you can still find all articles and audio under the In Touch tab on this radio station's app and website. And don't forget, we're also on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at InTouch_HV. We're booking guest spots for 2023. We have a whole year ahead of us, and I'm looking forward to it. Whether you have a topic you want discussed or you want to be a guest, the best way to contact us is through our office number, 845-471-1500, or email direct to connor.walsh@townsquaremedia.com. I've been your host, Conor Walsh. Until next time, stay curious, keep an open mind, and as always, I'm glad we get to spend some time.